So far this year, I'm enrolled in like 4 in-person events, like markets and conventions, and I'm actually looking up a couple more because I'd like to fill up my whole year with attending these in-person events when I had a sudden thought, what if I make a video to share with you guys how I go about looking for these markets and conventions myself? 2 years ago, I could have sworn that there was nothing by me, and this year as I started looking and I did a little more research than what I might have done 2 years ago, I actually realized there are quite a lot of events and markets by me, and I just have no idea how I overlooked them like 2 years ago when I was doing my search. Sure, doing a simple Google search could yield you some results nearby, but some of these tips or suggestions that I will make in this video might surprise you, or you might have never thought of it. So yeah, it might be worth a watch. Let's get started. So the first and most straightforward thing that would come to mind would probably be doing a simple Google search. If you do a Google search with your town or a couple neighboring towns by you, and then adding the word markets, fairs, festivals, conventions, and even bazaars, that's spelled B-A-Z-A-A-R, you might be able to find a good amount of events near you. You want to keep in mind though that not all markets and fairs and conventions are going to be appropriate for what you're selling or who you're trying to attract as far as your target audience. So you want to do your research still, and just because you might be eligible to have a table at that event, it may or may not be very profitable for you. So still definitely do your research before signing up, because it can be costly and add up, especially if you're interested in doing several events like I am. And sometimes a simple Google search for like your town events is not enough, because for example, what I had to do was actually look through the community calendar event of some of the towns near me in order to find this one like small anime and comic con by me. I ended up having to follow like a series of links, which ultimately led me to the Facebook page of a local library that was hosting this anime convention. And that's not something that I would have been able to do. It's not something that I found just by doing a simple Google search, typing into the search for like the town and then anime convention, which is really strange to me. But again, that's what I mean. Like, you have to dig a little deeper, and I think it's worth looking into like your township calendar to see if you can dig any other events up. For those of you who are interested in attending conventions like comic cons and anime conventions, toy conventions, and the like, I recommend going to these websites, fancons.com and animecons.com. Those are two different websites. I was able to gather that from being on both of those sites. The interesting thing about those two sites is that they don't show the same events, or at least all of the same events. There may be an overlap in some of the events that they list out, but it's worth looking at both just to make sure. This is something that I realized while I was doing my initial search. I was on animecons.com and looking for anime conventions near me in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and New York. And when I went to FanCons, I found a couple more that Anime Cons didn't list. So I was like, well, that's a little funky. So definitely recommend browsing both, besides obviously using like Google events search. The other popular suggestion or place that you can look is social media. Simply typing your area, or I guess the state if you want to broaden out a little more. You want to type in the area and then do the same thing, kind of like what you did for Google search markets, like New Jersey markets, New Jersey art markets, art fairs, art festivals, anime conventions, anime festivals. Switch up the keywords, because sometimes you will find that some results pop up when you use certain keywords compared to using, like a different set of string keywords. So that is also how I found some of the markets and conventions that I'm following and signing up for today. It was mainly through Instagram that I found them, although I know that you can do the same thing on TikTok. And Facebook is pretty old, but you also don't want to discount them, because some of these groups still exist and are actively posting on Facebook, sometimes more so than Instagram and, I don't know, Twitter. I actually found out through Facebook groups that there's an existing anime convention group in one of the universities that I used to attend back when I was studying. And for some reason, this thing didn't pop up while I was doing my Google search for, like the general area. Again, this goes to show you that just doing a simple Google search may not yield everything in the area for you. The last thing that I want to mention to you guys, it's pretty time intensive. I will say, like, it's not a quick and easy search, but it did work for me. I also did some social media stalking. It sounds very weird, but I actually found this out by accident. So quick story time. I went to a local coffee shop to grab some food and coffee when I saw that they were actually selling like cute little stickers and notebooks and bookmarks on the side. It was kind of like at a little table by like the area that you would order, and also like above their screens where you look at the menu. And while I was waiting for my order, I was looking at these like products, and I was like, hey, these are actually really cute, and it would be really neat if I got to sell like my products to this coffee shop for them to showcase and sell to others. I guess that's what you would call wholesale. I've never done wholesale, nor am I like in it whatsoever, but I would love to do that. And it stemmed from wanting to, I guess, market myself to the local coffee shop. I haven't done so yet because I just haven't gotten to it. But what I did was I looked them up on social media to try to see if they're active on social media and if it's possible for me to reach out to them that way and, I guess, promote myself and introduce myself to them. So as I was looking through their Facebook and their Instagram, I noticed that this particular coffee shop had periods of time during the year when they would have a local market. They would make room in their coffee shop for local businesses to come and, promote their stuff on a table. So I thought this was really neat, and one particular post caught my eye. It was a local artist that sold products similar to me. This person made stickers and like keychains and enamel pins, which is definitely the kind of stuff that I also make and sell. So I was intrigued, and they tagged the artist, thankfully. So from stalking the coffee shop's Instagram profile, I moved on to stalking this local artist's profile. As I was looking through their account, it showed them attending different markets nearby, and since they're local, you can get an idea probably that these events that they're also attending are pretty much local for the most part. I do know that artists, will fly around and drive hours to attend like out of state conventions and markets, but for the most part, you can probably safely assume that they're local. So this opened up another list of conventions and markets that I wouldn't have otherwise found on Google, but I somehow managed to find it through this local artist. So basically, the gist of the story is social media stalking local artists is pretty effective and also very useful as far as like getting information on different markets and conventions. It might sound really creepy, but my purpose is just to find out what markets there are, because, like I said, maybe like 5 times now in this video, doing a simple Google search will only show you like the surface. You have to dig deeper to find these like smaller, maybe less popular markets and conventions. I would definitely recommend like doing all of these things that I did, and I continue to do so. Like if I find a local artist, I will stalk their profile and I'll look through it, and then I will, you know, Google search that convention that they went to, and you know, one thing leads to another and you just end up finding like a whole list. Like I can tell you right now, I have a bookmark full of events. Like it went from like knowing only one organization 2 years ago to like finding like 20 plus events near me, and it's just crazy. That's pretty much all I wanted to share. I hope you will find value in this information and this video. A lot of, I guess, the tips and tricks is pretty, you know, logical and straightforward. Just doing a Google search and using those kind of keywords will be useful. But yeah, if you want to do some more digging, then yeah, I recommend doing the social media stalking and research. But thanks for watching, you guys, and if you like this video, then obviously feel free to let me know and give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.